Welcome to another one of MrTacpans's Save the World, the freeing of the myth of Zazari. Raphael Ben Laser Lipa, I am sitting here tonight pondering and pondering, how does the vortex work? And if you want to know what I'm thinking, you see, unless I show you in designs, I'm going to have to set up some sort of studio. There's two dice cubes, okay? Imagine one turning this way, around, and the other one turning completely the opposite. They have to work together. One is part of the heavens, okay, that might turn the exterior, the same way the earth turns around the day, and the same way the earth goes around the sun, is the same way we are connected up inside the matrix stream. Do you know what I believe? I believe wholeheartedly, and that's why I work all day, and I'm trying to just pinpoint something that I can show you, that you would understand that this world is way too perfect on paper. I see it on paper, it works out, it's not just my imagination, it's not fiction, the hypothesis and calculations work out, the numbers come together. And one of the things I was thinking of tonight is where did that number come together? Okay, I have a square here, okay? Now through the square there's an axis, okay? And in the center of this axis, it's going to say 55, 85, 22, 33, 65, 88, 52, 25, 23, 32, and more. 55 is the passage of the center, of where the east-west goes and we turn, and the north and south goes where we turn. The 85 means the silver spirit, okay? Why the silver spirit? Because 5 is the axis and 8 is the heavens, so it connects the two. So they call it the silver spirit. Not only that, the word silver has an 85 letter count, and the word matrix has an 85 letter count. So they're in the same category. Oh, there's so many categories. This is not easy, and it's only getting harder. But it's a lot more fun. I see the results. I see it. I can't pinpoint it. It's hard to show you. So I'm going to show you this little design. If I can look my book up. Okay. You see that center? It says 55. Okay. Now each corner got crossed over as I connected on my tic-tac-toe, the crossing through 159 and 357 shows those axes, okay? You see that 5 is on an angle. It wasn't actually a 5 to start, but when I put the plus sign in the center of the box that was actually there, it turned into 55, 88, 32, and every other number. And at the same time, once I did that, it cut all 4 corners in 4, turning that whole cube into all x's. 9 x's, the 24th letter, 9 times 4 is 36, and 180, 216. That's what the answer would be. 6 times 6 times 6, 216. The 216 hours, okay, of the 10 days that man walks at 16 hours a day. I can get into it on another day. But anyways, that's what it means if every box becomes an X inside. But not only that, okay, the center box, okay, in all actuality, has an X that's passed through 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's 40 days and 40 nights of Moses right in that passage, okay? Not only that, the exo that is created in the exo game, the X is the 24th letter, the O is the 15th letter, creating the number 39, the 3 worlds of 9. What is the 3 worlds of 9? The 3 worlds of 9 are the 2 spirits, one from each of the worlds, that connect to make ours. 3 worlds. In between is actually the spirit world, the ball inside the Rubik's Cube that connects everything together. So it's a completely different world. And that world would be Jupiter, if we had to compare it. But in all comparisons, if I had something good to compare it to, why not Jupiter's 63 moons? They're not there for nothing. They're hiding something from us. How can a small man like me know anything like this? And then again, are my words the truth of knowledge? No, they're not the truth of knowledge. They're the truth of the understanding of my knowledge. How far that gets me and what it means to you, well, that's all up to you. Believe you me, I'm working hard at this. I wouldn't tell you something I didn't believe. Another thing I want to show you is that in creating the 5, okay, what happens when you create a digital? It creates this sort of looking S with a line through it. That's in the creation of the 5. The reason I'm showing you this is because the 5 creates spirit. It means the connection. That's why the 5 can turn into that S. How does it turn into that S? Well, if you do a square 5 with 2 C's, one going one way, one going the other way, you end up with the 5, okay? That's the line that goes through it. It also creates the beta, a Hebrew letter, bet, okay? The top part of it creates the bet. There's many Jewish letters in here I found, many Greek letters, definitely a lot of English letters I find. Another thing I want to tell you is that I'm going to show you one of these designs. Try and imagine in your head, okay? That design is created just with the number 7. I made 4 7s. How did I create these 4 7s? I took the 4 worlds, God and his setup, the yellow world and their setup, and they brought it to one spirit, and God brought his to one spirit, and then they jumped over and created this world that we're in. Okay, so that's 4 7s. And a 7, okay, a creation of a 7 on a tic-tac-toe or your telephone, depending on which telephone, it takes the 1, 2, 3, and forget about the 5 and the 7 because they're part of one of each other. Okay, so all it means is the alpha, the beta, and the creation. And that makes the number 7, and that's basically what builds these 4 worlds. And if you take 4 7s, okay, you can create 2 triangles, put them on top of each other, and they become the Magen David, the strongest star I have ever thought of in my whole life, and I believe Jupiter shows it. Somewhere up there in the stars, Jupiter shows this star. I'm just going to show you why. Because a regular Magen David that I drew, where is it? Okay, it shows you 2, 5, 8, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's the way our axis goes. Those are actually part of a dice. Each one is part of a dice. The other part that's missing, well, that's the other part of the world. That's inside the world that created us. That shape right there created us, okay? Now, when I say it's the other part of the dice, because if you looked up at the top picture where that 55 is, if you can see it properly, there's a square. Well, that dice is right there. You can't see it because of my design, my elaborate design. Cool, eh? So what happens, that Magen David is actually both sides of those dice, the one that turns man and his world. Man and his world, 1967. What is that, 45 years? 4, 5, the 4 angles of spirit. 45 years, 2012. July to December, 6 months. How many days? Was it August, September, October, November, December? 4 months. Is that when the time is, 2012? We are, I'll tell you one thing, even if you take the clock, the 12 is opposite of the 6, because it took the alpha beta world to create the world 6. That is the world we're in right now. We have the 3 and 9 across from each other, because in all 3 worlds, there's 9 positions, okay? 9 positions, although one is a spirit world position, 4 positions are between the earth and man, and the rest are the creation of the God. Then you have 1 o'clock is opposite from, I think, 7 o'clock, and 7 is the God, and the 1 is his spirit. 2 is the opposite of 8. 2 is the beta world, 8 is the heavens that connect it. 4 is the opposite of 10. 10, 4, 1963. 10, okay, the octagon world, okay, which is man and the 4 angles, okay, and that's how you get 10, 4. And then you have 5, 11, and 5 is the spirit, and man, spirit, it's spirit, angles, and man and his angles. create the 11. So not only that, there's other things to tell you. 47. Anytime you see 74, 47, you're in the right place at the right time. Okay. Do you want to know a little bit about 7286? I'm going to show you 7286. Okay. This is a cube. Okay. It's the 6 dice with a 1 in the center. The other one is turned sideways. They have 6 worlds. The center one is the 7th. Okay. In there is a tic-tac-toe board. In the tic-tac-toe board, there are 9 spaces. So you have 9 spaces, okay, that reflect 7 at one time, 7 connections. 9 times 7, 63 moons on Jupiter, okay. Not only that, okay, out of the 9 spaces, okay, only 8 are houses. The other one is the spirit connection in the center. Okay, the other center dot is the spirit connection. So there's actually 6 on one side, and then the 2 added with the north and the south makes 8. But there's 9 altogether, 9 squares in the dog pound, in the 9 cat's lives, excuse me for that. So you got the 9 cat's lives, and you have the 8 worlds. 9 times 8, 72. 72, 9 times 8, right there. There's 8 positions, okay, out of 9 spots. 9 times 8 is 72. Now there's separate spots. Each dice, okay, covers 7 worlds each. Like I said, in this grid over here, there's 9. They cover 7. 7 and 7 is 14. Add it to the 72. You have 86. You have MrTacpans's 72, 86. Why does it work out? Because Tacpans, the name, is 74, the same as Christ, the same as Jesus. How many times does MrTacpans's connect in here? Not his numbers, his name, places he goes online, things he connects to. They just connect. It's just too perfect. Or otherwise I'm so deep into the world that I'm actually lost in this world. I don't think so. Another thing I was going to show you is that if you create the 7 on the tic-tac-toe board, it creates these 2 images. You wouldn't believe it. You see those images? First you see the one with the plus sign on the right. If you cut the corners, it turns into an octagon world. Then you have the one on the left. When we don't use the spirit, it becomes an exclamation point when we don't use the 5. When we do use the 5, it turns into the hourglass. 4 sevens. Slip those hourglasses together, you have the time bomb. You have the mug and dove world. I don't want to take it away, but there's something in Africa. There's different points that are on my little casing that I'm building that I'm going to try and decipher where they are in the world. I do know Highway 55 and Highway 10, when they're close together, or touching, with Highway 12 especially, that something weird's going to happen out there. Highway 55, the 55 route, all those points in the world, the 8 points of the world. What else did I have in here? I have this and this. I wanted to show you another thing I created. From the lamed. Just from the lamed, which is created inside the dice. When the dice spins, it makes the creation. It makes this sign over here. Now that sign over there is actually, if you look at it, it's a Greek letter sigma. At the same time, okay, if you would place this on the roulette, that would show up between 17 and 20. Now that's a sign of life. That's like a heartbeat. The M&Ms, the 2 M's are together. Yeah, I don't really have much because I've been really working hard on trying to figure out something simple. The dice. You know anything about dice? Here. That 1 dice and that 2 dice make the 3 dice. Now you take the 2 dice and you turn it sideways. There's one above the other one. It creates the 4 dice. You take the 4 dice, or excuse me, you take the 2 dice and the 2 dice and the 1 dice, and you make a 5 dice. Where's the dice here that shows you how to make a 6 dice?